Hello everyone, my name is Val and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. So, I'm looking a bit punk for the past couple videos and I kinda enjoy it. I also started to enjoy a lot this bleached brows look, but I'm not gonna do that to my real brows because reasons. Today we're talking about the Prelude Chroma palette. It's the palette that was chosen as the next one in my Instagram, and this is also a retro review because this palette is not new, but it's pretty awesome and I want to tell you about it today. I really like Venus palettes and Lime Crime specifically for the past couple months since I found the first one, got recommended by I Am Nostia, and I already have a video with a review of the Immortalis palette. So today we are doing these little guy and it's a perfect little mermaid palette in my opinion because it's such a deep sea kind of vibe and I really like working with this palette, even though sometimes looks kind of similar to each other, but I try to have the variety of things that I create with this one, and I'm gonna show you the previous looks that I did with this as well. And today we are also creating a new one, so this is not the last, and of course it's not the last and not the first, obviously. So first things that I need to actually do is remove this makeup and start with the other one. So this is my almost normal, almost human look, except different lenses. I already applied white concealer and some other concealers on my face because I don't really use foundations. I feel like concealers do more for me, so that's just it. And now I'm gonna be starting with the palette. Today I'm gonna be doing the top being the warm and the bottom being the cold one. And we are going from two darkest shades, in this case from two darkest shades, the purple and the teal, into the lightest to the top and to the bottom. So that is the idea at least. Let's begin our journey. For the top, I'm gonna be starting from lightest to darkest, and I will be starting with Olympia, which is a nude, slightly peach shade, and I will place it directly into the crease, right onto concealer. And I'm gonna also elongate the shape a bit. Next, I'm taking the Cypress, tell me how to pronounce it properly please. And I'm taking it into lash line, from where we will be mixing it upwards. Now I've tried to blend as much as possible. Of course it's slightly patchy still, it's not perfect. I'm okay with that. So now I'm gonna use Nymph shade as a cutting shade, let's say. And I'm gonna, maybe I will just place it in the center. I think it actually lays very nicely onto the dark background. Do it on the other side. Right into the center, just using the other side of this brush, I'm gonna place the gold one, Eros, up till the top. And into the very corner, I'm gonna place the golden Triumph. Now let's take the bottom into the work, and it's gonna be blues, starting with Genesis. I'm gonna outline everything on the bottom lash line and also bring it into here. Now with a clean brush, I will just, using shade Olympia, also blend it outwards a bit. I can actually place it lower. Now I'm taking the shade Saturn, which is this shiny one, and a pencil brush, and I'm gonna place it directly where the teal was. And as a cherry on top, in this case seafoam on top, I'm gonna take the last shade with my finger and put it at the very beginning. Now I will finish the face and then I will show you swatches. So this is the result I got at the end. I think it's kind of looking good. You can also switch places from the turquoise teal to the purple and to do the cold look for yourself. I think this one is nice for me because the golden matches my hair. This little palette sometimes can be a bit patchy, so not every shade is absolutely great, but it's okay. It's still available for $34.99 or something like that on Look Fantastic in Germany, and it was initially released in January 2020, quite a lot of time ago actually, so that's why it's retro review. Let's dive into the shades themselves. I absolutely love metallics in this palette, and I want to swatch them first. They're quite creamy, and let me show you here. And they are great. So they're not staining, and they have quite a nice power. Eros is also quite a metallic shade. So this one is gold, this one is rose gold. Very nice ones. Then we have Seafoam. Seafoam is slightly having build up because I've been using it with a finger. It creates this multi-chrome look, and it's a topper, so by itself it doesn't have a lot of color, almost none, but as a topper, especially on dark shades, this looks absolutely great. Triumph is also, I would say, a topper. It's slightly, very slight golden, but it almost has no output, no payout of color on its own, so it's definitely a topper. Then we go to the Kyprus, which is purple. This one is slightly patchy, as you can see also from the swatch. You can blend it out nicely, but best is to combine it with something else. This is just my opinion on this shade. Saturn is a nice shade, also kind of metallic-y. It has a shift, but I cannot describe it properly what it is. I feel like it just has a darker base, but it's semi-transparent, and from there it just becomes more shifting. Olympia is, as I said, color of my skin. It's like slightly peachy, almost not seen on my arm, and it's a good transition shade for majority of others, which is great. Genesis is teal, and it also slightly patchy, so the mattes in this palette are a bit more patchy, unfortunately, but you can work with that, and you basically, I feel like I love this palette because of these shades, and in combination with others they just create this nice colorful, interesting thing, but by itself, yeah, probably by itself it's not such an interesting thing. What it reminds me of the most, I'm not sure if Natasha Denona has something like that, but I feel like in other palettes, like in different palettes, she has similar colors. From what I have in my collection also, it's what's the tea? The cold tea and the hot tea. I would say there are a couple of similar ones. So this one is a tealish purple area for us, and this Take of the Town is the closest shade, so I'm gonna swatch it near this one. They have a bit different hue. This one is more blue, this one is more green. Now you can see it in comparison. And then the shade He Said, She Said is also very nice, but it has no direct companion, but it also a topper. That's why probably it reminds me of this thing. The Rundown is purplish, but it's very muted, so it's more of a brown than purple, but yeah, there is something in them. The other palette is the Hot Tea, and it also has a couple of colors that are similar in my opinion, but honestly I'm reaching out to the Chroma palette because of its compactness. So the form factor is really important for me, and I try to use it more often. It's just more convenient to use in general. Here we have also very nice shades, and here I can see the gold. The gold is probably in a different hue, but so this one is more orange, this one is more yellow. It's still not bad. The rose gold is nothing from this palette. The white one is also like a shifting possibility, and you cannot see almost anything. So it also has this golden sparkles into it, so it can be similar, but other than that, nothing really. That's what I found for the comparison of this palette, and I did compare it with Immortalis Gold. Immortalis Gold is pure metal. It's a bit different. It's more of a, yeah, just metal shade, while these guys are warm. The rose gold and gold here are much more warm than metallic. So this palette overall, if you like the color story, it makes sense to get it. I, as I said, reach out to it quite a bunch because I've been doing a lot of mermaid, deep sea kind of vibe looks. That's why it pretty much did a good job for me, and mixing one thing on top of the other is what I really enjoy with this palette, because toppers on top of toppers, they are toppers. So on top of the dark shades, they are absolutely great looking, and I feel like I will be using this palette more. It's probably not the most favorite out of Lime Crime palettes. I'm thinking to get 2 more, and I have another one to test as well. So we will see in the future how the things will unravel. And yeah, so as I said, this palette doesn't make sense if you don't like any of the color combinations that you can create with that. And if you're into the Little Mermaid kind of vibe, then it's a great one because of the color story. It does work together, which is really, really nice. And even having different, absolutely different colors also still work together. And I will be continuing using this palette until I reach some bottoms, and this is my opinion on it. Thank you so much for staying till the end of this video. If you did, I really appreciate you. And thanks so much for watching. I'm happy to produce some stuff for this channel, and hopefully you enjoy some of it. If you want more tutorials, more interesting looks, just let me know in the comments, and see you in the next one. Bye!